you enjoyed your lunch fresh dinner? We've got 6 minutes? No, we've got 2. Well, good day, footy fans. It is an absolutely spectacular Saturday afternoon, and welcome to Broadview Oval, where there is not a cloud in the sky, as we look forward to bringing you the BDR Excavations Division 1 game between the hometown Broadview Tigers and their opponents, Rostrevor Old Collegians, aka Rocks. My name is Phil Hood, and thanks for joining me, Taylor Oates. Taylor, what a glorious day to watch some footy.
Oh, it is beautiful here in the city of Prospect. Previously referred to as Broadview Oval, we are now sitting at Kumang Carb at Broadview, which is a new structure with a fantastic vantage point over the whole oval. And it's also one of the only pitches you can park up near the boundary and sit in your car and watch the game like my parents used to.
Yes, and indeed there is a little block of supporters right on the other side. I'm sure we'll get them on camera at some point during the afternoon. They're loud and they're vocal, if the B grade was any indication. Don't have a lot of time before the first game. It is going to be a massive round. We should mention Umpires Appreciation Round. They do it very well at Adelaide Footy League under the leadership of Colin Rouston. We had an 81-year-old goal umpire here, and it goes to an 11-year-old goal umpire doing Div 2 Women's today. All ages, some great numbers this year, and we could not have a game without them.
Absolutely. This is also the first year that there's no club field umpires. So, excuse the noise, but the league have fully employed these umpires, and the Umpire Appreciation Round kind of celebrates the part that they play in keeping this game going.
Most experienced umpire in the Adelaide Footy League is probably now having a bit of a shout because he's earned it in his 1,243rd game. That is, of course, the legend that is Barry Lewis, just one of a huge number of umpires that work their way. I mean, what have we got? 68 clubs, and they all have multiple teams, hundreds of games each week, all needing an umpiring crew. So we'll mention who this crew is a little bit later, but not too far away from the start of this game. Suffice to say, Taylor, it's a pretty important one for the hometown Broadview Tigers for that first win.
Yeah, they're sitting at the bottom of the ladder currently, facing some of the toughest teams in the first few rounds. it really will solidify their place on the ladder if they can win today and prove that it was a bit of an anomaly and that they have a place on this ladder.
Yeah, last week one they'd like to forget about, a 15-goal thrashing at the hands of Port Districts, just the 4 goals kicked, the biggest thrashing across the BDR Excavations Division 1. Opposite side, Rocks, competitive last 2 games, 1 point in it. We're set to rock and roll you with Phil Hurd and Darcy on camera, and your opening caller, as we're about to hit the siren, Taylor Oates.
We have a crowded inner circle, ready, tensions high, the ball is raised in the air. There's that siren. The toss. Knocked out, and we've got Wharton kicking it towards his end, a beautiful block, but comes out. Rostrevor Rocks. Oh, body blocked there by Manning, vice captain, towards and it's overside.
Already 2 1% in the opening 28 seconds. Some nice smothers. Has kept it pretty much centre wing. I'm not sure who won the toss, but I can tell you that Rocks in the vertical red and black stripes are heading to the right of your screen. Broadview in the Tigers. The black jumper with the gold sash on the front and back will make for a bit of fun. They are heading to your left. Rocks go to it. And there, at the bottom of all that is Stefan Lanzoni, former Rostrevor College captain, getting tackled. And so far, Taylor, it's been stoppage upon stoppage upon stoppage. Now we got a free, and it will be Rocks through James Wharton to go forward.
Really kind of having some congestion here in the beginning, but we've gone into the Rocks end where Broadview are really determined to push that away. Coming out of the number 4, we've got Dawson. We're across the 50 now. Just hovering around that line, but Rocks gets it towards, and it just lands in the hands of Broadview.
So Rocks 2 inside 50s to zip so far. We're into the opening minute or so of this contest. Rocks have set up a pretty good wall. Broadview trying to work their way around it. They do get the loose player. It was White to Beard, trying to work on that outer side. It's we got a phantom player, number 8. We will find out eventually who it is, but for now he's just Peter Phantom. His kick probably doesn't want to be named because it went straight to Demetrius of his opposition side. Rocks, he kicks into some space right on the club room side. Hand passed on by Kemp. Good pick up by Lanzoni. He goes back to go forward. This is with Stepik through the hands of Demetrius. I'm pretty sure started with this a couple of possessions ago. Rocks 80 metres out now to find a target up forward, off hands. This is where the footy is at its hottest. Lanzoni, a little soccer kick. He's in there again, Lanzoni. That's about his 4th possession in a minute. In the end, though, it ends up with Broadview, and they got some space on the far side to clear.
Broadview are running along that outer edge, trying to cleanly get the ball across. We just saw the Rocks give a really clean kind of pass through into the inside 50, but once they were in there was panic and pandemonium. So now Broadview are out, and it's a beautiful long kick, almost straight into the hands of Kemp there, though. And it's a tussle and spin to the ground.
Transfer with the tackle. Told you to keep an eye on 13 today. He's already got 1 set of Archies. We brought another set today. And also we've got a voucher thanks to the Gully Hotel. So you'll be popular at the end of the game, Taylor. They'll be looking out for you. Come to me, give me the voucher.
Be nice. We saw Trenfar get best on ground last week, so it'd be great to watch him again this week and see if he can continue that play.
Rocks, was it a season defining? There's a couple of flyers in the end at ground level. Broadview's defence, they have not had the play their side of centre yet, but they might have half a chance here. It's in the hands of, we've got another phantom player, number 17. So we've got 2 to check up on now. 17 and 8.
Keep us on our toes.
Yeah. All up. True centre wing. Butterworth was held on to, even I could see that from here. The ruck's Rockman, and so he'll take it on the centre wing out of sight. Another forward foray for the red and black.
Currently sitting with no scores on the board, determined to get points. Rock sends it into their inside 50, and there's just, oh, beautiful. An absolute just swipe of the kick came through McCormack, and that gets points on the board.
That's one way to get your points. Thomas McCormack with a beautiful move to evade his defender, and for the first time Rocks were able to get a clear possession inside 50 to have a shot. Reasonably tough angle, but converted. And they get the first goal. McCormack. 19 of the 22 that were on the Rocks list, I'm not sure who in the end missed out, but 19 of 22 been through a Sandful system, junior or reserves level, and for McCormack, originally from Harndorf, spent some time as expected in the zone with Sturt, but is now with Rostrevor, and they lead 6 points to 0.
We're really seeing play get congested to that right side, which is good, and we're seeing pressure, but Broadview really needs to break it towards their end to make impact in this game.
I was interested how Butterworth would go on ruck. I think Rocks have won pretty much every clearance. So, as I said, Rocks have won every clearance. Now it's gone the way of Broadview, and they're going to go forward for the first time. And you really need the binoculars to pick up those numbers. It's on the far side. Back in board to 22. Is that another number we don't have?
Just a deep exhale from me.
Okay. So we're going to have some fun with that today.
Back in the hands of the Rocks, but they're really just staying towards that end of risky play as it gets back in the hands of Broadview. It's being chased.
I'll just get you to call some footy. I'm just going to go back and check Play HQ and see if any of this has been updated as yet.
We're at the inside 50 line, and it's a chase for the ball. Slammed to the ground, but 2-on-1 for Rocks. Very vocal here from the stands.
Well, for Broadview fans, we're just going to call names that we have and numbers that we don't, because that's as much as we can do.
Scooped up by Hill there. Sorry.
Yeah, and he's off.
He's
off
off
to 50. Centres the ball now. We've got a beautiful chance from our Mullet Man.
Shoot.
We've got Phantom 8, Mullet Man 17, with a nickname for number 22, and then we'll have the missing team covered. But that's the first score for the Tigers, 1 goal to 1 point. Almost 8 minutes gone to the first quarter.
Back in the hands of Rocks, a beautiful mark there by Lim, who just scooped himself under that ball, right on towards the stand, across the face
Oh, no.
of and fumbled out of the hands of the opposition's end. It was 27 Swanbury.
How do you reckon his blood pressure went up as soon as he fumbled that?
Oh my God, that was just immediate chase by Broadview, who was like, if we can scoop this ball, it's a goal for us, but they didn't let it happen.
We do highlights and clangers. That would have been one if Broadview had have scored off the potential turnover.
We got Langley there being pulled down by Boxer.
Broadview possibly with the numeric advantage momentarily with Turner. Right in front of the Broadview bench. Centres it up, looking for Carlin at half forward. But out marks. That's going to be a big battle, I think, Swanbury and Carlin. Carlin's going to be the target. A couple of Rocks players out in the scoreboard, which is the northeastern pocket. They come back in and find Will Mead. Will into the middle, overcooked it. Really, Detrinsky really was, who kicked the winning goal. He was the hero the 28-minute mark last week. And our Rocks have got it on. Beautiful no-look hand pass. That sets up the open player. It's going to be Connor Butcher.
The Butch, as they call him, apparently. Very creative, as we were discussing prior to the match.
Well, 3 goals last year from 18 league games. Originally from the Kookaburras of Golden Grove. Like just about every Rocks player has spent time at the Norwood 16s and 18s. And here's a chance to slot Rock's second major from 45. It starts left and it does not come back. 1-1, Rostrevor Old Collegians, Broadview 0-1. And we are 10 minutes into the first quarter.
So looking a little bit broadly, I guess, on where they sit at the ladder at the moment, we've got Broadview, which is on a 0-3, as we mentioned prior. So this will be a really interesting match to see if they can break that and if they can show that they deserve to be in the top 8 on the ladder.
Yeah, it's an interesting because they have actually, as Traffner ducked, because he ducked didn't get the free, kept going anyway. Umpire has seen a free kick going the way of Butcher. He'll get a second shot maybe. Just quickly the umpires. Field umpires Matt Harris, Joshua Johnson. Boundary umpires Michael Collins, Rudo Picaro. Goal umpires Marge Rashes and John Biggs. Somehow that's gone through a couple of players. Ended up with the shot, and Tom McCormick has 2. And they're both from the top shelf. I'm sure when that ball was kicked, I thought, that's a missed kick, because there were 2 Broadview players in by far the superior position. Somehow it eluded both, and McCormick said, well, if you don't want it, let me take it and convert.
It was a stunning just lob into the goal as well. It's a very precise kick, which I think is a great reflection on the training they put through.
So, of course, 1 of 5 games, round 4, glorious conditions today. Other matches, probably got favourites in 4 of the 5. I'd say Rocks would be favoured here based on their recent efforts, especially the come-from-behind win over Prince Alfred last week. Last 2 games decided by 1 point. A loss to Glenunga and that win against the Redmen last week. The kick opens up for Pedler. Pedler from 55 kicks into some space. Broadview's defence is right there. Now it's Rock's turn to play defender and try and force the turnover. Somehow getting out of it was Boxer. His high kick. No one can seem to take a clear mark. And that will be Langley, I think, who's cleared. For the Tigers, you can take a breath.
A beautiful, long kicker on that outer side of the oval, right in front of our fans across the way. And there is a fight for the ball of the inside 50. A tussle, and it's taken from his hands, and the umpire's whistle goes.
Thomas O'Malley, who I think he may have been playing at, free kick to Broadview. So O'Malley has been playing at Rocks for so long that I think he's actually outplayed Play HQ. Stats go back to 2013, and he was playing Div 1 2013. I'm pretty sure you don't just walk off the street and play Div 1.
That's an impressive time. This is our mystery number 8 at the 50.
Yeah.
A run in, a long kick, and straight through the big sticks. Beautiful.
No, he's missed it.
Oh, he's missed it. Oh God, no, sorry.
Behind of the
That
game
was
so
behind.
far.
Sorry.
So zip 2 for the Tigers, Rocks 2-1. Probably about the 15-minute mark, 13-minute mark. First quarter, good clearing kick, although it lobs with Turner. Takes it, don't argue, and there's a little bit slippery. It's always slippery in that corner. If there's any moisture at all in this ground, it's in that neck of the woods, because this oval is a bit of a bowl. But Broadview keep their feet. That's a pretty good kick, but just not quite enough from Caleb. Hang on, check this. It was Caleb Jones. We got a 23 and a 33. And due to the Caleb Jones was an emergency, probably the big news is that Broadview named Jay O'Leary The senior of the O'Leary brothers coming back from the Crows. Well, looks like the Crows might want him because he's not playing this afternoon.
Yeah, so played 4 games for the Crows in Sandful and is not on the ground here today. But his brother, who is captain, Cooper O'Leary, is on the field today representing the family.
Big day today for the Broadview Footy Club. It's the VP and sponsors. They've just been handed hot off the press an issue of the Tiger Times, which will be some good reading when we haven't got a game to commentate.
Yeah, fantastic. That just behind us is the VPs and Sponsors Day, as you mentioned, which has club sponsors, ultimate members, and vice presidents for their biannual vice president lunch. So it smells lovely, and they get a great game of footy to watch as well.
I guess commentators at half-time. So Bo Baldwin found himself in a lot of space. He's got it on to Ryan Lynn, centering out aside towards the southeast pocket. Bit of aerial ping pong, but that ball goes out of bounds in front of a whole bunch. I mean, they've got the trucks, they've opened the boot, they've got the chairs out, they're under the trees.
Doing it right, absolutely.
I reckon come the final quarter, they might be putting those hands up a bit to keep the sun out. But for now, a glorious spot.
A nice lob into a pack there. Tapped just onto the line there as we fight for the ball. I believe it goes over.
So important, real touched, so it wasn't deemed to be a last disposal, which brings a free kick. So Rocks have certainly had the best of the start. Broadview a couple of opportunities, 16 gone, but it's sort of settled between the 50s a bit more now. Becoming a little bit of a game of stoppages. That was Carlin who's getting a turn in ruck, who gets it now. Broadview.
In the hands of Scadden there.
Scat into our mullet man. Can't wait to find out who these people actually are. Note to officials, if you're going to put players in Player HQ, just please put the right jersey number. It does help. But I think that's Callum Flanagan who has it right now, Taylor.
Sending it into the 50. Oh, just missing the mark there. Sliding under it is 17. Shoot. No. 17 is another mystery tiger.
Yeah, 17's our mullet man.
Our mullet man. Right.
So Phantom 8, 17 mullet man, and 22 who?
22. Just
Rocks will concede. So you've got a little bit of work to do at the Broadview huddle at quarter time, Taylor. Unless it's in here. Actually, hang on. Now here we go.
Oh.
Someone's been watching us. That's why the guy gave us the Tiger Times. So we've got an 8. We don't have a 17 and we do have a 22. Okay.
Anyang with the mark there. Stunning fly. Another, it's back-to-back marks here for the Rocks. 21. Wakeland sends it towards the pocket there, where there's just a fight for keeping the ball in play.
There was no way Swanbury was getting out of that double team effort by the Broadview forwards.
Whole buddy sure tried.
Rocks have actually had a little bit of trouble clearing this out. Butterworth had to come a long way to make that contest. He got there just in the nick of time. Claim of free. It is going to be a free, but not the way the claimant wanted. Will Mead will take it for Rocks. They lead at the moment by 9 points. 2-1-13 to 4 behinds, and a bit of shade there under the trees for those in that corner. Anyang came with the fly. It ricocheted back to him. Got the hand pass inbound. Need one more. That's Carlin had a beautiful pickup. And in the end, though, to a 2-1 contest, Finn Wakeland way too strong. And Rocks will bring it our way towards the clubroom side.
Shoot, sliding onto the ball to make that mark there. Just looking for a player. Searching. To O'Malley there. But it's just the pressure that Broadview, they are determined to keep it down their end of the pitch.
They're doing good at the moment. I want to quickly mention our sponsors who are in Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, custom by ORTC, High Five Bikes, as it ricochets off a teammate. Is our mullet man, who we have a budget, but we don't have his name on the budget, and a bit of a zig and a bit of a zag, and it's another behind. I can tell they're just looking at the player's reaction, let alone the goal umpire, and I'm thinking that's Kobe Wilson. Josh Byrne, number 8. Rosman is 2022, so we just got to find our mullet man, and we're there.
Langley down. Inside the 50. Beautiful mark and sweep up by. Is that our mullet man?
That's there's only one mullet like that on the field.
I was like, if it's not this mullet, we've got the name wrong.
I went and had a haircut this morning, and it was 0.5 all over, just to keep the bold bit sort of in ratio with the other bits. He's got more. Yeah.
You could use that as a wig, honestly.
I know, maybe I'll do that one week, especially if we've got a camera on us. Maybe I'll do that and freak everyone out.
Yeah.
Retro round.
At the 50. The mullet power's strong on that one, backing it between the sticks. Beautiful.
You know what I'm going to call him?
What do you?
Samson.
Samson? Why is
There's a biblical story about a guy called Samson who had this long hair, and forget mullet, it was down to his backside. Mm-hmm. And all his power lay in his long hair. As long as he cut his hair off, he was fine. And then some nefarious person cut off his hair and he lost all his power. So, have mullet, will dominate.
Yeah, Broadview has their own.
Just the other sponsors, custom by ORTC, High Five e-bikes. Lockie Gord had some fun with that during the week. Dartfish, of course, Archie's. We're going to get the sandals away. Jags Meatworks. We will keep an eye on Goal and Mark, but the goal Jags Meatworks is at some other games. Kimberley Resorts, and on the Kirin Yoketsu scoreboard, Broadview are on the board. They won 5-11. It's only a 2-point game. Rostrevor 2-1-13.
Butterworth straight underneath the ball. He's aiming for that tap. I think that's, or maybe, his goal in the game is to get those taps away in the beginning and in there. But we've got Turner, there. Kicking to inside 50. Langley.
Oh, wow. Didn't pay it. Carlin, I thought, just crushed and took the mark, but deemed to be touched. It's a hot footy, 30 metres out. Rocks have really struggled to find some defensive system. They might have it here. Almost in a bit of trouble was Demetrius. His kick, though, is turned over and in front of the scoreboard. And I think some Rock speed graders. It's a turnover the way of, I reckon that just by the look of him, it could be O'Leary. Don't have a number, but it looks like young O'Leary. He finds Carlin. There's no doubt about that kick. That's a beautiful pass. So PJ Carlin, last year was running around at Prospect, just down the road, played 15 games in the under-18. So if he was under-18s last year, he's either 18 or 19, folks. Big lad.
Playing in the A grade, very impressive.
Got a reserves game, came through Broadview, Payneham Norwood Union, and then at North Adelaide. This to put Broadview in front. And Broadview, having conceded the first 2 goals, are in front. And deserve a reward, because that was a really good forward setup. And on the, here we go, the Kirin Yoketsu scoreboard. Broadview at 2-5. That's 17. Rostrevor Old Collegians 2-1, that's 13. And we're at the 23.5 minute mark. So it's really fair to say, Taylor, first 10 minutes Rocks, last 5 to 7 minutes Broadview.
This quarter has been what I thought the match in itself would be. It's Rocks coming out fiery strong and Broadview really trying to keep up with the pace. We're back in the centre circle, or as you'd call it, the teacup saucer.
The tea saucer.
The tea saucer. I did reference you last week.
Thank you. Hope you paid the royalties for that.
Always. We got Flanagan there getting it out of a bit of a Oh, gosh. Oh, Lanzoni just grabbing anyone who has the ball there. But
anyone in
no
black
effect.
and gold, I'll tackle you.
Basically. Oh, and a beautiful jumping mark there from Turner.
That was funny.
That
We
was
had to
good.
tackle the guy. Sorry, let's tackle the guy on the wing. Oh, you haven't got the ball. Must be you.
Turn
the next
around,
play.
tackle the next guy.
But in the end, all for naught. Broadview with another shot.
About 55. A long arch right at the base, and it just gets knocked. It's a behind.
Yeah, so 2-6 to the Tigers. Now, that's 8 scoring shots. Last week, they don't want me to mention last week too much. They only had 10, 5-5. That was for the game.
In the hands of Butterworth at the top of the 50. He's searching for a player. They just need to get it down. He passes it off.
Yeah, like all good ruckmen like to do. Clever.
Little tap right in the hands of a buddy.
So that was Baldwin to Tinschke. It's on the 50 arc for Rocks. It hasn't been down their part of the world for a little while. Comes back from Bradford. And there's a fly. Any mark pay? Now, what are we paying here? It's going to be a free kick to Rocks. I don't think it was for the mark. I think it was for over the shoulder. Tranfer's got the ball and turned his back, which I know some coaches that I've had join me from time to time hate. Should always be looking at the goals, they say. And he reckons he can kick it. Guess we're about to find out. Last week, 2 goals. He's kicked 3 this season. That's a bit high, and will lob about a metre out. And that's another thing that drives coaches crazy. And maybe the coach will have something to say about it as the quarter-time siren goes. An interesting battle. Looked like Rocks early. Broadview came roaring back, and it's the Tigers looking for their first win in 2025 with a 4-point lead. 2 goals 6 to 2 goals 2. Taylor Oates, Phil Herden. Taylor, just before you duck down and find out, reveal all with our mullet man, thoughts on that first quarter?
The Broadview came out absolute firing. They were not determined to let the Rocks get away with their first few goals. And now, surprisingly, we saw a fiery start for the Rocks where I thought they would continue with that. It feels like Broadview kind of broke their spirit a little bit in a way and took advantage, got some goals in, and now I'm excited to see how the Rocks return to the field for quarter 2.
Alrighty, we'll take a break. Be back with quarter 2 in about 5 minutes' time.
There's no winning players. It's just good play.
The official match sheet. Did you have the Rocks right there as well last night?
So they went. Jackson Haynes, 22 is Rossman and 8.
Super 26 and 7.
Didn't find the other.
And welcome back to a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the South Australian capital. Where else would you rather be but at the footy? And we're at Broadview Oval thanks to Filming Footy and our wonderful sponsors here with Phil Hurd and Taylor Oates. Also got Darcy giving you all the pictures. And of course it's time to reveal all, because Taylor, you went down to the source and asked a question we were all asking after that first quarter. Who is Mullet Man?
Mullet Man is Jackson Haynes, and when I told them I'm searching for 17, the Mullet Man, they go, oh, Hamesy. They knew
Okay.
exactly who I was talking about, and they said we call him that too, so we may be able to stick with Mullet Man. Number 8 is Josh Bryan, and 22 is Marco Rossman.
Okay.
And I'm out of breath from
I was
running
about
down
to
there.
say, you did that in about half the time I would have. No real chance to get some scores, but we'll try at half-time to get you some scores from some of the other grounds. We're just madly... Just lift your elbow for a sec, thank you. So I can put that down. Nothing like doing line-up changes on the fly, but welcome to the...
The beautiful art of the game.
That's it. So a pretty even first quarter. The other thing probably to mention is Broadview, if anything, had the wind advantage. Now, what wind advantage you might say? We got no windsock here, but we have got a flag at the end of the clubhouse. It's blowing a little bit. It's mainly across the ground now from us to the attic, to the scoreboard. Probably just the slight advantage to Broadview, but I don't think it has really any great impact on kicks, at least left-right. It might something to take notice of kicking 4 goal.
Absolutely. I think you saw the Rocks huddle there was pretty intense. I think it'll be interesting to find out what those conversations have been after the game. But we'll see, I guess, if it's worked.
Yeah, Rocks coach Damien Boots in a close game, something they've been used to in recent weeks. 2 1-point results back to back. As we do wait for some of the crowd to maybe realise that they're holding up proceedings. Get off!
Get off the pitch. Well, we mentioned Boots, the coach there for Rostrevor. He's been named one of the most respected coaches in the Adelaide Footy League by the Adelaide Advertiser.
Yeah, no.
Well done, Boots.
The all-knowing, all-seeing Adelaide Advertiser. To bring you into the second quarter, you're with Taylor Oates.
We're in the centre circle, knocked away towards the end of Broadview, but it's really congested. We're playing a bit of tap around, and it breaks away from the pack into the Broadview end there. A little toss-up, and 15, O'Malley didn't see it behind him. And we've got our Mullet Man there, Jackson Haynes, holding onto the ball like it is his life.
Yep. Carlin's proven to be a target. He'll go and ruck against Butterworth. Tries to take it out of the contest. It spills free. And in the end, a wayward shot. We'll get you that player in just a tick. It was Rossman, who's also had a jumper change from 29 to 22. Rocks ball. They've been on the back foot pretty much the last 12-13 minutes. Just the one inside 50 in order that. And they're going to start this passage of play deep in their own pocket down at the tennis club room's pocket. Looks like quite the tennis facility there, actually. I can, 6, 7 courts?
Well, there's been a recent investment in this land, this space for the community, which has been fantastic to see.
Yep.
They've got new club rooms, they got new tennis courts, and just a general looking after the ground. I think they also got new lights as well, and just more change rooms, so all teams, men's and women's, have safe space to get ready for their matches.
And certainly did not have this view about 4 years ago. Rostrevor,
Oh, beautiful kick from Baldwin there. Into the hands of Wilson. Off to another Wilson. Double Wilson. And into Brian's hands. Right at the 50 there. In that pocket. both leaning over trying to see this one here, and it just knocks out the hands.
At the moment, you've got a better view of it than we have.
We've got Wilson trying to get it towards the goal square, but just kicking across the face and ending in a bit of a tussle towards that behind.
So we've had one score thus far, and I didn't start the clock. So we've got no idea about... Oh, you have? Okay, well done. 2.5 gone. It's been all in Broadview's inside 50. Rock's clear momentarily, but this is something Broadview made this adjustment. And I would say the inside 50 count in probably the last 12 minutes of this match has been a lot to Broadview and about 1 to Rostrevor. With Hamesy, Butterworth got a mid on it for Rocks. It spills in the direction of Jones. Got a little bit of support. Hemmed in for the moment. Now they're trying to work it around the back. Need to be a bit cleaner with these handballs. That'll help. That one's Wilson now. His high kick. Oh, they're going to get a shot here out of nothing. And in the end, it didn't miss by a lot. And that kick was by Haynes. And a bit of a turnover. Rock's trying to clear, intercepted. And I think this might be McKenzie, but I do need a number check. Possibly Jackson Wilson. I was right the first time. Fortunately, no goal to go with it. He's missed. So if anything, Broadview are having some kicking woes. 2 goals 9 to 2 goals 2, which makes it a 7-point lead to the home side.
Beautiful jump in there by Pedler. They're moving the ball towards their end, but they're stuck around the opposite end's 50. Mead running it and pushed. Oh, a push there, but play on. A toss in the air, and Tranfar is there, and we're a toss up by Wharton to get it out of that scrummage. A little overhand and tripped over by McKenzie. Just looks like, that was Baldwin, sorry. Tripping over his own feet a little bit there. And another push to the ground by 23 Boxer. They're really getting close to the goal. They just need the opportunity. They need to take it.
Now, well, that's interesting. It looked like a high tackle. Umpire said ducked. So then it became a holding the ball. Lanzoni did a lot of work to draw 2 defenders, somehow get the hand pass out, and Rocks look like they're about to be set for a goal. But Broadview's D has certainly solidified. Look at all the people in the playground pocket there in the northeast, just enjoying having a swing and a look at the footy. It's a hot one on the outer side. Give something for those in the utes and the seats to have a look at. I think it's a reasonably narrow ground here. Doesn't seem to be too far to get to the centre circle from here, but then we are a bit high.
Oh, beautiful jump and catch by Captain Lanzoni there.
Yep, Lanzoni centres it. Baldwin.
Baldwin. At the 50 there.
1 goal last week. He comes from the Eyre Peninsula from way back. That's actually a footy club. And Woodner. It's probably Woodner. And amazingly, like everybody else, spent some time in the Norwood system. Let's see what his range is. Outside 50. Keeps it low. It's going to drop about 5 metres short. Almost the soccer off the ground. In the end, there's a bit of a slam dunk. Ball spills free. Rocks are still half a chance here. In the end, Broadview clear, and they've managed to find a target in Flanagan. And here they come down the grandstand side.
Mead on that edge towards us, sending it to the pocket. Waiting there is Lim. They've really found their pace and are able to send it down towards the Turner, just absolutely sending it into the arms of, I believe, Tranfer. Oh no.
B. Jones, I suspect. So that was nice play. Once Flanagan took the mark, Broadview were able to move very nicely. Some of the cleanest play we've seen today. Probably the skill's a little disappointing. I mean, the weather is perfect, so I guess that sets high expectations. But whilst Broadview have the lead, they've been a bit inaccurate. They would love to convert something here. That's really high and on the line. Another rush behind. So Broadview have hit double figures in behinds. 210. That's 22. Rocks are 2-2-14, and that is on the Kieran Hyoketsu scoreboard.
Kicked in there by D. Mateus, sent on the outward pocket and just over the line there. Will be a kick in there by unnumbered Broadview.
Not another one.
Not another one. No, I just can't see the number.
Is that a redhead?
Ball stuck under a park bench there.
I'll come back to you on, because we do have a redhead out there. We like having an occasional redhead. I think that's Mackenzie. Anyway,
A tap by Butterworth, his signature move at this point.
first time we've seen these teams this year, probably first time you've seen these teams ever. Some players I can recognise a mile off. James Butterworth in ruck is certainly one of them. Gets a touch.
Well, Rostrevor are kind of about 75% of their team were their premiership team, so they're for last year. So hoping that they can continue their pace from last year and kind of find their groove again for the 2025 season.
Yeah, 2022 was an interesting year for both. For Broadview, it was when they won the Division 2 against Sacred Heart and got their long-awaited return to Div 1, where they've won 6 premierships of their 10 A grade. Unfortunately, the team spot they took was Rostrevor's, who had some shock results in the final round and found themselves relegated where they probably weren't totally expecting to. Rocks 2 years in Div 2, defeated Salisbury North in last year's grand final. So here they are, taken a while, but they're back in the same division.
Into the hands of Din Trinsky there. Kicking in from the boundary. Beautiful, clean pass.
It's a good contested mark taken by your Dintrinsky. Lanzoni, who's been in a lot for Rocks, probably been one of their best players. This Rocks entirely not out of this. Kick in, there's a lot of Tiger jumpers. Although off hands, rush through for a behind. That's the first score to Rostrevor for a little while.
Something that is really interesting though is I can see some of the Broadview players are getting a bit tired, for a better word. They're really coming out with big bursts of energy when they do have the ball and having to defend it and keep it on their side. So I wonder if they can keep it up for this match.
21-degree sunny day with the wind, which is cooling, makes it feel about 18. So it's a perfect dial-up day to spectate. Joel and Yang in front of the scoreboard, showing Broadview by 7. That, of course, is the Kieran Hyoketsu scoreboard. Game, you're right, Taylor, the game seems to have slowed a little, which you normally see around the 18, 20-minute mark of a quarter, not the 10.
Sending it along the outer line there, in the wings. Broadview in hand.
Rossman, I think, who has it. Get some run from, I think, Jesse White.
Sending it just to the top of the goal square. And a beautiful block there by Swanbury after an attempted goal. And sent through the big sticks. We're waiting to hear a behind.
Okay. So Rocks would feel a little bit under siege. It's 13 scoring shots to 5. But it is only an 8-point margin. And unfortunately what you do tend to find in these games, I'll wait and see if it happens on this occasion. I found my redhead. It's actually Will Scadden who's the redhead. I've just got to note that. Yeah, if another team gets a run on and kicks a couple straight, all that effort that Broadview have put in will all be for naught. They're going to have another crack here. Kick to the top of the square. No free space at all. And it will either be a ball up or out of bounds. I think the ball up wins.
Swanbury was not willing to let them have it.
So see the umpire bring it back a little bit, which is smart work.
Another Butterworth knock there.
Yeah, he's doing well on the ruck. Demetrius, though, his kick has landed up and over the hill. That's halfway onto the street, actually.
Oh, is my car all right?
Is that where your car is? Okay. Well, we haven't had any. Our producer Darcy has parked his car behind the Broadview goals, but given he's parked it right behind, centre of the goals, and Broadview have kicked 2-11, he's probably found a pretty safe spot. But it's going to be Broadview ball from outside 50 now that they've collected it. Don't tell me he's taking a shot. Surely not.
He's giving a run like he is. Sends it towards the... Oh! Mullet man, the power of the mullet. I am telling you. We've got Haynes there, our mullet man, who just ran in, scooped the ball. We thought he was going to have a shot at goal, but I feel like Haynes just knew that I've got this.
Good lead. I mean, that's the second good lead they had. There was the other one to Carlin in the first quarter. Carlin converted. So, just letting you know ahead of time, you have the job of working out our player of the game for the prizes, which is the Gully, the hotel voucher, and the Archies.
No pressure.
So, I have a feeling might go to a man with some hair. Oh, maybe not. If he'd have kicked it.
It was just across the face there. It's just accuracy that Broadview needs. We've got now 12 behinds for the one team.
And those ones hurt. I mean, the rush behinds are rush behinds, and you just got to adjust your play so that those kicks are landing at the top of the square, not the ability to be rushed through. But that was a gettable one, which they'll read. So Rocks. Now it's their turn to work it through. They've got some good transition to Harry Pedler, just the attacking side of centre. Couple of runners which he ignores. Short kick. Needed a little more wheat bix for breakfast on that one. But they'll pick it up. Still got possession. Not for much longer though. Deemed not to be 15 or touched. Got to admit, not the prettiest game so far, but to make it look good is our mullet man and Haynes. And here comes Broadview straight down to the middle.
It's a chase for the ball.
Ryan's kick is going to cover the distance. Just
knocked
kept
in. Kept in. That was beautiful. Oh, it brought straight back to the ground. You're not leaving with my ball.
Having worked so hard to get it down there, it's going to stay there for a while. So deemed to be still in play. Rocks won't concede the behind. They'll bring it out through Butcher. Again, I am surprised, to be honest. And look, it's probably the first Div 1 game I've seen this year. There's been a lot of missed targets for kicks that weren't particularly involving a lot of pressure. Whereas that one does. That's footy.
I could hear that one. That had some oomph behind it from Kay. Rostrevor just aiming to get it out of the goal, the end, inside 50.
Demetrius. They're off down the outer wing. Let's take a bounce. I reckon that's 3. Good news is there was a runner. Quite often you see a player take a lot of bounces and then completely stuff up the kick. Demetrius has run down, so he's covered from the defensive 50, I reckon, where he first got, and he's going to have a shot on goal. That is exceptional work rate. Demetrius, remember calling him league footy with Norwood. His kick, they're looking for Dawson, is spoiled away. And at the 17-minute mark, I need to let you know, folks, I'm glad we don't have a goal of the quarter because we haven't had one. Broadview have kicked 6 behinds, and and Rostrevor have kicked 1 behind.
Just at the 50 there, sent in by, I believe, I'm not going to... It's just a bit of a tussle there between Butcher, the Butch, and it's his ball. Just at the 50. It's quite a clean line from where he is to goal, and it's just about that accuracy. The Rocks truly need this one.
And all that, if he can, all the scoring that Broadview's done this quarter would be erased.
The lead in. A long kick, and it is just not what's needed. Another behind.
Well, if you like behinds,
It's a great game.
we have got the game of the season for you right now. 4 goals, 16 in totality on a glorious day. Well, that says something about the pressure, the accuracy, or the tactics. Plenty of the missed ones have been set shots of some variety that have either missed completely or have fallen a couple of metres short and thumped through.
A jump and a miss there by Wakelin. He's a former college star for the Rostrevor, and now he's in the old collegians, which is pretty interesting. He's a fast-developing ruck with key forward utility and has a strong overhead, and he's hit the scoreboard pretty efficiently across the 2025 season.
Yeah, well, of course, as much as we think it, James Butterworth probably can't go on forever. He seems to, but so they probably need to find that next generation.
A rush for goal. Another behind. It's raining behinds.
It is. I think that was Tom Bradford who got the boot to it. Yeah, we'll let you know when there's a goal, folks. Might have to go off like a Brazilian soccer commentator. Yo! Anyway, this kick in has found a target.
Okay.
So Kay has it. We'll bring it right in front of us. We can see Butterworth just judged out of it by Turner. Butterworth goes in, creates the contest again. O'Malley, there's a couple of long-standing servants of the Rostrevor Old Collegians Club. Also in there is Jackson Wilson. Goes back and forth. This is Travner. Back to Kemp. Kick smothered. We're back at O'Malley. He finally puts the ball in and stolen.
Sent back towards Broadview Way. Caught up in the hands of...
Misjudged it.
Oh gosh, he's all the way running towards the goal. And just... Has he rushed it? It's a goal. The first one of the game, of the quarter, is wide.
Thank goodness. Jesse, oh, hang on. Hang on. We might have gone early. No, we waited till the goal umpire went. No, it's a behind.
Oh.
Now that's something you don't see every day. Normally you might see a discussion, then a decision. You don't usually see a decision, then a reversal. But
Yeah.
I guess as long as it's the right one. So
Well, it's hard. Umpires, they are there on the ground. They are seeing everything in play. And so I think we have to trust them sometimes when they say, this is what I've seen.
well, part of it, if it was a discussion with the field umpire, the goal umpire was unsided, because I was looking at the reaction of White off the boot, and he didn't seem to really show any. He almost showed the sign that he was down or missed it. Maybe just, I think, maybe just wasn't happy that his kick wasn't as good as it could have been. But now I'm not even sure if the behind has been registered at all. So it's 2-5-17, that's Rocks, 2-13-25. Let's leave it with the scoreboard at the moment. If the goal umpires have a different view, we'll let you know after our half-time break, which can't be too far away. 22 minutes gone. The question now, Taylor Oates, will we see a goal before the half-time break?
I'd like to. It'd be nice, hey?
We'd all like to.
We've got Shoot in there fighting for the ball in a moss of Broadview players. It's really, they're very crowded. It's very congested play that we're seeing, and they're just kind of in that pocket, really trying to get the ball out towards any open player. Oh, straight in the gut. I hope the gut.
We've got a whistle. Going to be a Broadview free by the way the players are moving downfield. I think both teams could do with a half-time break, but we're not there yet. That said, there'll be no time on for goals. So it might be just a 24-25 minute quarter if it's just the stoppages. Butterworth.
Beautiful long
That's
kick.
as easy as it gets for him. We don't do a turnover count just as well. It would take up all our effort at the moment. Rocks inside 50, going back with the flight with courage was Finn Wakeland. The future of the franchise, to quote Taylor. I don't think he actually said those words. But
That's great. He's former coming up, but you know what? He is the future.
He is the future. What can he do in the present?
Absolutely.
Bouncing ball by the line, picked up, is the hero from last week. I'll tell you what, that's gone 15. Oh, it has. And Dintrinsky, well, this isn't quite with the game on the line, but it would be a momentum shifter. He's going to Stevie J. And he's absolutely butchered it.
It's almost hit the playground at that point.
Oh my goodness.
Watch out, kids on the swings.
Yeah. So, Rocks have kicked 4 behinds. Broadview have kicked 7. What was a 4-point lead has been extended to 7. So, it's only going to take Rocks to just kick a goal out of nowhere, and it's pretty much tied up.
Yeah, I hope half time maybe they, both Broadview and Rocks, take a bit of time to focus on accuracy, just discuss how they can get those behinds turning into goals, because that's what they really need to win this. At the 50.
Dintrinsky again, he's marked. This is too far out to score. We'll centre it up. Off hands. Broadview a chance, left the ball behind.
Ang Yang just throwing his body on top of players there to keep the ball. And Broadview have it back in their hands, ready to send it down, but not without pressure from the Rocks Butcher.
Butcher onto Baldwin. There's your siren. A goalless quarter sees Broadview extend their 4-point quarter lead and take it to 7. So Taylor, can you give us the goal scorers for that quarter, please?
Sure, nothing, no one. I almost
I
panicked.
just wanted to see if you went looking for them. That's
I
all right.
almost panicked. You got me there, but we had plenty of shots at goal and plenty of behinds.
Plenty. So the goal scorers for the game so far, Thomas McCormick has the Rostrevor goals at 2, whereas Jesse White and PJ Carlin have 1 each for Broadview. All right, well that was a half with a difference with mystery players and then some goal kicking issues. We'll take a break. The players will take a break. And let's see what happens in the second half. You're with Taylor Oates, Phil Hurd and Darcy doing a great job bringing you all the pictures on camera. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League thanks to Filming Free. Thank you. in under 8, I've got a lot of under 18 fishing, and really the skill level is 2 levels. I'm going to take a chair and sit down. Back up. How are you going with your challenge?
On the day, it's challenging. I'm getting a hang of it. Like, as you said, like as the game goes on, you kind of start to recognize it.
My suggestion, what I want to work on is building you as a play-by player. So my suggestion is when, and I know that the crossing back and forth is sort of like, you take it, you take it, but how fun is it? We can try and work on it. That's
also just going to
when you start off, maybe to who's got the ball? Because at the moment, when you're starting off, you're sort of doing some special training. It's okay, but it's not what I want to do. And it's right, because it's a tough game to call, but there's no clean series of possession. Out of bounds, 20 minutes goes to Tigers. At some point, I really want to work on in the play-by-play thing. This person doing this at this play. At some point we'll talk about resistance. Have you ever watched gymnastics?
I mean, yes.
Okay.
What's the
Olympics?
Yeah.
Done? One of the key parts of it is if you want to play play-by-play hockey gymnastics, mine is not the words, it's the phrase. It goes from the high or it goes just down. So it goes all the bounds, it's all good. Broadview have it, they're clearing.
the opposite of the question.
Sometimes what I'd like to do here is, if we're struggling with it, well, let's say I'm going with someone that I've never worked with. I would say, and Taylor, who would you have? And it's clearing out. By coming out from now on, it's sort of like, okay, you're up. Just wait till I take a breath and take it away. So if you want to work on it this now, I'll say no. And Phil, will you go forward once again?
Yeah, sure.
And even just a quick sort of acknowledgement. I don't know, do you find it nice with like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
See, one of the problems is today it's been one of those games where normally you switch over when they're clearing the field. And so much today they clear it one because the game is so
Straight back into it.
people had an eye.
I thought they go and see the ball, make sure he was happy. So most official, he was quite happy. He said he hadn't ever gone to control.
That's it.
So your son
We never ever get And welcome back, Broadview Oval on a picture. This is the day you'd go out and take pictures for postcards.
Absolutely, and what a fantastic day for a game of footy. If I wasn't here talking about a game of footy, I'm sure I'd be sitting down getting ready for the Adelaide showdown, which is I think we probably shouldn't talk too much about it, but I know that tensions are high between my household, which is a Crows and Port side, so we are definitely going to be chucking that on. But speaking of footy, let's take a look around what's happening for round 4 in the Adelaide Footy League. So we've got Port District currently playing Golden Grove. The current score is 3-7-25, 4-5-29, and they're playing at Largs Reserve.
And that's Golden Grove in front by 4 points. So surprise there, especially the way Port District's destroyed Broadview last week.
Well, Port District's second on the ladder at the moment, and Golden Grove is 7th. So that is quite the fight for Golden Grove, so we'll see if they can continue that up as we check in later in the day. St. Peter's, Old Collegians and Glenunga are playing at St. Peter's College. St. Peter's is 7-6-48, Glenunga 5-0-30. So that is an 18-point difference there. So we'll see how those scores go, and I think you have one more for us.
I do, just looking at Glenunga, 5 straight. It's probably kept them in the contest at the Cater Oval. Salisbury North and Prince Alfred. This would surprise some, but it is at Salisbury North. The Hawks, 7-6-48. Prince Alfred, 1-6-12. They were undefeated until the 28-minute mark of the final quarter last week against Rocks. Now they're staring at a 36-point halftime deficit and going 2-2. There is one other game. It is Sacred Heart Old Collegians in Payneham. Sacred Heart undefeated, Payneham winless. It's at the Sacred Heart Middle School, and I don't know, there's something of like a dome around that facility. We never get, no scores shall escape during the course of the match.
I'm interested by the Salisbury North Prince Alfred game actually, because currently Prince Alfred is 4th and Salisbury North is 5th. So this match will propel Salisbury up to the top and send Prince Alfred down.
Well, what it would do, if those hold and Rocks can find a way, because at the moment we've got a close one, 7 points. The close one is Golden Grove Port District. But if those hold and Rocks get up, they would go from 6th to 4th. They jump Prince Alfred and Port District. So, of course, Broadview need that first win to get on the board and stay in touch with the rest of the league. A 0-4 start is not what you want to do, of course. Adelaide Footy League, bottom 2 teams of each men's division get relegated. Broadview only just got their way back here in 2023. We'd like to stay here for a little while.
Yeah, and so last quarter was a goalless quarter. We had plenty of behinds to go around. So the score currently is Broadview 2-13-25 and Rocks 2-6-18.
So we do, of course, have our sponsors. We do thank Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's, Jag Meatworks and the Kimberley Resorts. We've got the gully with the voucher from the hotel there. Also the Archies to give away post-match. Taylor, you've been thinking through that. Please, we'll have a chat about that after 3/4 time.
Absolutely. I have my eagle eyes watching all of you to pick who I'm going to come and give a pair of Archies to. So
At this rate, hey, look, it's umpire appreciation. It's umpire appreciation.
It is umpire
Do we
appreciation.
give it to an umpire?
Ooh. That would be a bit cheeky. Do you think John would be good at this?
Would that just completely break everything?
I think you'd break the universe.
Would that be the time-space continuum?
We would
If
actually.
we gave a
shut
best on ground to an umpire.
Well, they are on the ground.
They're there.
They're on ground.
And they are a team. Okay.
I feel like we might get a little bit of hate for that.
I think there might be some emails coming.
Yeah, we might get some
About
stern
5:30
emails.
if we do. All right. Hope folks were keeping you entertained, if nothing else, and we hope we'll get some goals coming your way. To make it happen, here's Taylor Oates.
Broadview versus Rostrevor, all collegiates, and Butterworth is in there, tapping the ball away as he does. Wrestle there, and back into the hands of Shoot. Little clean kick there. Back to Tranfer, who sends it to the inside 50, but Broadview's waiting.
Yeah, Butterworth and James White's probably been one of the matchups of the day. Butterworth has played for Rostrevor, and no one but Rostrevor made his senior A-grade debut in 2014. Rocks are going forward in the direction of McCormick, who had scored both goals thus far. Bit of an issue keeping feet. The loose hand pass to Pedler. And what do you know? It's another behind. First score,
They love it.
a minor, 2 Rocks. If they're going to do it by behinds, they'll take a while. It's 2-7. Broadview 2-13 on the Kieran Yoketsu scoreboard.
Beautiful mark there by Butcher, who sends it into the pocket. Oh, looks like we have a face injury, a bit of a shove. Is that Lanzoni there? I believe it is, yes.
Yeah, Lanzoni's ball.
Our captain. And you go, oh.
No, so just about the captain. I'm not sure if he's the captain. Yep, okay. So he's been captain of both Rostrevor College and Rostrevor Old Collegiates. That's a good double.
Good on him. In the pocket there. Just lining that up. I think he's going to go for goal at a bit of an odd angle, but may as well give it a shot.
And Darcy's got this lined up. We're pretty much right behind him.
A long kick. Just 2 left. Makes it to the top of the goal square where they're just crowds waiting. I saw Ang Yang's legs flying in the air as he brought, I believe, Tranfer to the ground with ball in hand.
So it's a ball up. Goals at a premium. The first one's important as we have another conceded rushed behind. So Rock's doing what they did at the start of the first quarter, all the play down their end. This has come out to Scadden. Scadden's got a player, they're doing a little bit of a slingshot. This is Cooper O'Leary. O'Leary back to White. He's a ruckman, he needs a runner. In fact, it's fascinating. I mentioned Butterworth had only been with Rocks. White has quite the journey. VFL, Sydney, quite the repertoire. Glenelg and the Sandful. They've been going at each other all day and probably about to go at each other right now as we've got a band to be thrown in front of the fan club in the back of the Utes on the far side of the field.
I'm looking forward to see what they're happening in quarter 4 with that group. They were absolutely loving the last game, very vocal, and I think that what brings the energy here. We just got a power flow coming through on the wing there with the Rocks. Pedler running into the inside 50, 21, Wakeland across the face.
This time did not even score. Balls disappeared up into the cars.
Don't worry, Darcy. I think they missed
I think some of the sponsors and VPs are out now, getting a bit of fresh air and joining us, having enjoyed a wonderful lunch.
Pressure's on as Cade takes a beautiful mark at the top of the 50.
Spots up and finds Henry Turner. So Tigers methodical and going forward for a rare time. Here's our man.
Oh, the mullet wasn't powerful enough.
But this time he's got to play defender and it ain't coming out of there.
Someone goes up behind him, shakes the mullet. Good to see, they're rubbing the magic.
And that was Charles Kemp, who was trying to escape for Rostrevor.
O'Leary kicks it into the inside 50 where it just gets knocked out there by a bit of a contest between Kemp and the Broadview side.
A bit of a discussion. Rocks are saying it's last disposal. Umpires are having a conference, which is what you want. Last disposal, it is Rocks' ball. I'm mistaken by the amount of people that are sitting around this ground. They're in little groups. I mean, I've got to admit, it's a day you'd want to just be outside.
Butcher kicking it in there. It's lovely to see just such, like every corner of this oval there's people, and that's fabulous to see, cheering on their teams, families, friends, as they continue this absolute fight for life that is a game.
Wilson, I think.
There, yes.
And Carlin, that's the second good lead he's produced. He gets up an absolute barrel of steam, and when he gets that, he's not going to be caught. And if Broadview can deliver like it was just done there by, I think it was Wilson, get a few more shots. So could this be the drought breaker? Taylor, your call.
Walking up to the 50 there. Just a trot, a beautiful long kick. Oh, this is painful, Phil. I mean, it's a score, which is great.
We were talking, I think it was to Shirley, the lady who was doing the timekeeping next to us here, and she was very proud of the netting that they put up behind one of the goals. Where can they put up some sort of a force field between the white sticks, because just nothing going through. Connor Butcher has it, half-back flank for Rock. So both sides are, what have we got this quarter? It's Rostrevor 2, Broadview 1 so far this quarter. Actually, a really good shot at this. Anyang coming in, gives it that golden fist. Keep it out of the hands of McCormick, who's a long way from home. Better stay there. He's Rostrevor's sole goal scorer. And looks like we might have Carlin's coming into ruck, because it looks like White might have found himself a bit of an injury in the downstairs department. I'll just leave it at that.
In the hands of Beard there, kicking it, a beautiful lob. Oh, just slipped out of the hands, Mark. Running, we have Mead.
Backed himself nicely.
Yeah, trying to find a player, but it ends up in the hands of the Broadview player. Right in front of the goal, but knocked away at the attempt.
Okay, it's
Surprise, surprise.
this quarter, Broadview 2, Rostrevor 2. That means the 7-point half-time margin. It was Broadview by 4. It looks like we're going to have another close finish, something that Rocks have been used to in recent weeks.
Wouldn't they just love like a week off of being really stressed?
To be like, get to the 20-minute mark, know the result, and chill the last 10 minutes or so, yeah.
But it's impressive that they continue to fight in scenarios.
Well, they could have done that because they were trailing Princes by about 3 goals at three-quarter time last year and just had a great comeback, including a goal at the 28-minute mark to literally steal it.
In the hands of Manning there, who sends it to the inside 50, but not without Rocks sending it back. This ball is headed nowhere towards those goal, mate.
All right, here comes Rocks. Let's line it up. Pedler, Dawson, out to Dintrinsky. Carlin with a big leap over the top, got a mid to it. There's his Rovers. It picked up by Lem. He's tackled instantly. It ain't coming out. Umpire circles and says my ball. Between the centre square and the 50-metre arc. We've gone 8.5 minutes. We have not had a goal since late in the first quarter. I don't think anyone's getting particularly restless about it. It's too good a day. Just chill and enjoy whatever we're getting from the players on the field.
And there's still very much a fighting game of footy out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's eye-catching. It's
Not
despite a lack of goals, we're still seeing a continual fight back and forth. It's ending going up and down the field, which is really great to see. So there is no rest yet.
Tackle, these numbers are going to do my head in, but I think that was Wilson or McKenzie whose tackle transfer Dawson's intercepted it though. Centres the ball. Okay, DeMatteis gets it on. Rocks are keeping possession, but there's some Tigers in the way. Now it's their turn. Sets a chase, but he was up for it. This is Flanagan. Wheels around to the hot spot, 25 metres out, straight in front. Matthew Beard just waited and laid the tackle. Everybody, it's about as unison as the hometown crowd's been today, but not rewarded with the holding the ball call. Transfer onto space. Marked 80 metres out by Rocks. Okay, wheel around, reasonably open forward line. Poor kick, so poor it bemused Hamish Ralph for Broadview. Should have taken it. They have it now. Waiting for a break to hand back to you, Taylor, but they're not taking a break. Mackenzie's kick right across the middle. Now it's Rostrevor with the numbers. They're taking a mark. Taylor Oates.
You can take a breath now, Phil. In the hands of Dawson there, just looking for another player. We've got Magic Mullet coming up quick. Watch out. Fantastic leap and a jump there by, I believe, Mateus. Just to the 20 out from the 50.
There's a grab.
And it was a beautiful grab there.
All right, now, surely
This is right in front
this
of the
is
goals.
the moment.
This is needed.
It's the future.
It's-
Finn Wakeland,
Well,
you
I
ready
did
to call
say
this goal? It's going to be a goal. We are totally confident.
we believe.
I've written it in the Excel spreadsheet.
It's already in there? All
Yep.
right. Well, I've said in my notes that he is someone who could hit the scoreboard efficiently. So let's see if he can prove me
The
right.
power of positive thinking to get us the first goal in a long time.
A trot in. A beautiful arch. And it's a goal. Oh, how great that is to say.
Well, just when we thought it was not possible, Wakeland has kicked his first. Rostrevor have kicked their third. What does that mean for the game?
We're trailing 1 point
It's
behind.
a 1 point game. We've got a nail biter.
Well, I mean, if, kick 2 more behinds in their head, but kick another goal, and you've got the Broadview Tigers chasing after
And
you.
I did sort of mention before that all the attacking and scoring that Broadview had done, if Rocks get a goal, it's all pretty much for Norton. That's where it is. So far this quarter, Rocks have kicked 1 goal, 2. Broadview have kicked 2 behinds after kicking 7 in the second quarter and 2-6 in the first, on a beautiful day for football, on a pretty good track and a slight breeze. Broadview, inside 50, aerial ping pong. But the Tigers have it. It's Hames with the high kick. Where is it going to land? And almost taken by Jason Bryan, but instead off his hands and for another behind. 2-16, 28. They've doubled the lead though. Rocks are 3-8, 26.
Into the hands of Butcher, just on the inside 50 pocket. Sent to Dawson, who just handballs it along to his mate Kemp. These short kicks are just not making the mark. It's now bounced off his face and in the hands of Scadden. Back down towards, in the hands of Rocks. It's a fight right towards the boundary. I'm standing up here to check.
Tell you what, the balcony's reaching capacity.
I feel it shaking.
Yep.
We've got Wharton and I believe O'Leary was in that. A tap away, just in the middle.
So got the backup Rocks at the moment. Carlin, I haven't seen White for a while. Did hear a report that he might have had an injury. He's up against McCormick at the moment, who's backup ruck. So I can't see Butterworth out there, so he might be just having a well-deserved rest as we hit the 13-minute mark of this third quarter. One that's been good for Rocks so far. In fact, the team kicking to the right of screen has won. No, they haven't. No, we'll take that back.
It was just a little miscalculation there where his foot was ahead of his hands. He kicked the ball out.
Yeah, sometimes it does take a little bit to get the hands, the feet, the brain in coordination. Throw in. Rock side. Clubhouse swing. Carlin, that's a huge thump. Bit of a Barry Crocker of a bounce for Harms. And Rostrevor reply with a pretty poor kick that lands down the throat of Hamish Ralph, who was the best on ground last week. Back to Ralph. He's got some friends this time, and he got rid of it, says the umpire, with the handball. And it'll be another stoppage. 14 and a half gone. Tigers 2-16, that's 28. That's Broadview. Rocks 3-8-26 on the Kieran Yokitsu scoreboard.
Punched away there by Wakeland. We are just in the middle of the ground, moving towards the Broadview end, where there's a beautiful kick sent in by Transfer, I believe, and it just rolls out near the goals.
Nice disposal or throw, and this one looks to be a throw in this time.
We're just on the left of those goals.
Shady area as the, I can't say the sun is setting, but the shadows are starting to make their way across here in Broadview.
I'm sorry, I got very distracted by old mate across the way waving his hands like he's at a Fleetwood Mac concert.
Well, you can go your own way, and Broadview are trying to win this game on the back of their behind kicking. I mean, they've held Rocks to 3 goals. Normally 3 goals 8 is the inaccurate one.
Beautiful long kick by Lanzoni there.
Lanzoni trying to put in the path of Boxer. Ralph was there to create some defensive interference. They want holding the ball. Holding the ball is what they get.
And here comes Butterworth back on.
See if he can dominate a little bit of ruck, but right now, here's the Sharks for Rocks, despite having had 8 less scoring shots. If Jet Boxer can kick truly, Rostrevor Old Collegians would take the lead. It's not by any means a gimme goal, a long way out, on a day when accuracy has been at a premium.
Walking the ball to the 50 line. A trot in, focused. Just short. Oh, no, bounce just over the line. And I believe that's another one for the Rocks.
That's it, they're in front. 4th goal is good enough on this beautiful Saturday afternoon.
What Broadview has done is essentially they've tired themselves out by having multiple shots at goal but not actually getting the high scores they need.
Using all their petrol tickets is I've never had a petrol ticket in my life, but I think I understand the expression. On the Kieran Yokitsu scoreboard, it is Rocks leading probably for the first time since midway through the first quarter. They're on 4 goals 8, that's 32. 3-point leaders over Broadview, 2 goals 17, that's 29.
Butterworth back in with a tap to start the play, and it's in the hands of Rocks, sending it down the line with a beautiful kick to limb. Trying to get it inside the 50 there. Oh, just missed the scoop as Bradford there. And now we've got a one-on-one. It's got, I believe, Anyang in there. Pulled away, and we're at the 50, just scrambling to get towards the goal. Anyang again, just throwing his body on top of the ball. He doesn't care. It's not going anywhere.
So Harvey Pedler, I don't think he's in range. Hopefully he doesn't think so either. There's a huge amount of players.
He looks like he's ready to amp up and take a shot at goal.
There's about 20 to 24 players inside Rocks forward 50 at the moment. There's more in there than out of there. Pedler has not kicked a goal this season. And I think he does the great thing in putting it at the top. Gave one of his teammates a run at it. Broadview are holding steady. Needed to sit for Turner. It didn't. Transfer socketed it forward. They're going to try again. Flanagan did well through Jones. Now Hames to a bit of an open forward line. Umpire circling on the ball. Broadview Tigers. Took a while there to give it back. Cooper O'Leary, Captain Cooper.
His brother Jay just came back for having a few games with the pros in Sandford, which is quite interesting. But O'Leary's been captain, which is great. He's got great use of the ball. He's got great pace.
He's got around one. He's got around two. Then he did the hard work and dropped the ball. And in the end, well, the first bit was highly entertaining. The second bit was highly embarrassing. But we've got it back to go again. Oh, it is one of the crazier games I've seen this year for sure. And so this kicks out the back. Might be karate kick through. No. That almost did Daniel LaRusso proud. Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Daniel-san.
That's it, Daniel-san. Who got it?
You mean Karate Kid, Cobra Kai?
That's it.
Excuse me.
Love that. It's a behind, by the way. We are getting really excited about behinds. That's where we're at in this contest. It does make the margin 2 points in favour of Rocks as we hit time one of the third quarter.
Well, the behinds are really going to make or break this game.
It's like the second vote preferences from the election.
It is. It really
might be
is.
enough. Rocks lead on first preferences 4-2, but Broadview have the second preferences 18-8, and it might just be enough to get them over the line. If Broadview can just get their first preferences up another one.
Very fitting as well. We had the election last weekend.
Yeah, that was. Must have been. I probably prefer. I did work the election 25 hours in 2 days, civic duty sort of thing. Just to divulge a little bit, how good is it that we can sort out who makes decisions in our country by that means,
Absolutely.
as opposed to what everybody else has to go through. And then the next week, you enjoy that, and now you come out and enjoy this. The footy, which, being honest, Taylor, has not risen to great heights yet. We've got a quarter to live in hope, but at least it's close, and that will keep us entertained.
You know what? At least they have better kicking accuracy than Peter Dutton. Because did you see that kick where he kicked him in the face?
Yeah, oh, that's true.
Yeah.
As they say on the Amy ad, shanked it.
Exactly. And a beautiful mark in the goal square there. Ross determined to keep the ball in their hands.
So Dawson, who's known as a bit of a goal scorer, I'll take that back, he kicked 5 last year.
At the line and just off the fingers of
So
Kemp there.
what have we had this quarter? We have had Broadview are 2-18, so they've kicked 5 points. Rostrevor are 4-8, they've kicked 2 goals too. So it's Broadview that have not goals since the first quarter.
Just before that 50 line there, and it's a chase for the ball. Wharton slips out of his hands, and we've got Rossman there.
Can I just say, that summed up the game in a nutshell. Wharton did the hard work, then fumbled it, then worked really hard to get it back, and as soon as he did, Rossman just completely cleaned him up.
Yeah, you know what? If we had 10 seconds to tell you and show you,
It was our game today.
Yes,
Well, we will do a 2-minute wrap.
we absolutely.
I was talking before, I only talk about a few goal scorers. Well, at this point, that's not going to be a problem. So we have a blood rule. It's anything too dramatic. It's Will Mead coming off and Harvey Pedler substituting. 23.5 minutes gone. Maybe 3 minutes left in this contest, this quarter. And really, I'm not.
Rossman has figured out his move and is going for it again at a double time.
Yeah. I don't think much gets past him at all. It's been a physical one. The physicality has been a highlight. A lot of pressure, which has caused a fair few fumbles and turnovers. Carlin comes in to lay some as well. Another stoppage. So it's about as close as you can get to the footy without needing players and chance.
Just might. They might kick it up here for all we know. Kicking along the line, though, here at the wing. Just tucked away by Lim. And Lim is just determined to get that ball, continuing to go underneath it, but it is Shoot who secures it, and it rolls out from underneath, but not before the umpire blows his whistle.
I'm not sure if any team really wants to just spot one up and get to three-quarter time. Maybe Rocks, they do lead.
Tapped out.
Beautiful facilities here at the Broadview Footy Club. If you're in the vicinity, make sure you come down here, support your local Tigers. Next week, now I'm heading off to somewhere similar, what we call the Chateau, which is Campbelltown Memorial Oval, home of Rostrevor Old Collegians. She comes in and lays another tackle. Is it? Yeah, okay. Holding the ball. Which, some special comments from the balcony crowd.
My goodness, it is getting fiery up here on the balcony.
Down the wing, missed the target.
Oh, a soccer kick and a miss by Drinczynski. That's like a mouthful.
We thought that would be our biggest challenge today. Manning with the high kick. Chol was under it.
And Yang just missing that.
Lost his footing, and in the end, there's no one there but red and black. They should clear, though, and Yang is trying his best to corral him in the corner. This might just be a turnover, but no. Rocks have cleared it with some clean hands, including Damien Stebic.
Taking their time to try and find a player hasn't gone to plan with heavy defense from Broadview there. We're now... And that is the end of the third quarter. So we're currently up with Tigers 2-18-31 and the Rocks is 4-8-32.
Alrighty, goal scorers quickly. McCormick 2, Wakeland and Boxer singles each for Rocks. The goal scorers for Broadview, both in the third quarter. As we can see, the inclusive league teams. I think that's Tea Tree Gully. It is Tea Tree Gully coming onto the field. There's footy for everyone here today at Broadview. Started at 10:15. We'll be going through probably until you've got to put the lights on. But in this game, the BDR Excavations Division 1, Tigers 2-8-18, Rocks 4-8-32. We're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Footy.
Kicking, we could have been 18-2.
So 20 to 12, probably. So they go straight to the... Oh, no, Sunday starts well down 7.
It's a 7:40 one.
Oh,
So late. So that'll give us...
do you have dinner on that, or...
Tonight we'll get a bank line and have a dinner at the Oval.
Oh, yeah. That's the case, isn't it? I guess you hope Jesse White, that may not be too bad.
Yeah, can only hope. He's done it right, like, he won a flag with the medal, he retired, took up boxing. Yeah, he was a boxer. He's got his own Northeast Road. And the year after our boys were starting to do pre-season with him.
Oh, yes, okay.
And after a while, he started coming out and just training. And then he said, I might fill in.
Oh, yeah.
And in the later half of the year, our full forward, just before the end of June, got a club he was playing for in Victoria Country, offered him a shitload of money. So he left us and went back. And then Jesse said, I'll come in and play.
And welcome back to Broadview, the BTR Excavations Adelaide Footy League Division 1 contest between the Broadview Tigers and Rostrevor Old Collegians, aka Rocks. And it hasn't been the most highly skilled game. It's certainly been one of the more highly contested games I've seen in recent times. But it's close, and anyone can still win it. And as they say, the stakes are high. Broadview started zipping 3. This is the best chance they've had all season to get that first win, which always means so much, because you don't feel like your season's underway until you get win number 1. For Rocks, with other results, could go from 6th into 5th or 4th, but would have a 3-1 start to the season if they can maintain or extend their 2-point lead.
You make a great point about Broadview here. They've had birth by fire this season, playing some of the toughest teams out the gate. They currently sit bottom of the ladder, and so this is their chance to push themselves, but also show what their worth is and really find their place on that ladder.
And they played Prince Alfred. Well, we're undefeated after 2 rounds. They played Sacred Heart, who were undefeated after 3 rounds, and then Port District, who had the biggest win of the season. So they're 3 tough opponents first up. It will be the Tigers once the crowd clears, and again they're slowly making their way across to the scoreboard. Broadview kicking to the right of your screen, Rocks to the left. About 25 minutes to work out who's going to win this one.
It's a 2-point game, so it is anybody's.
To get us underway, you're with Taylor Oates.
It's a fiery start out the gate with Butterworth sending it in an absolute punt towards his end, but it ends up in the hands of... Oh, umpires are coming over to tell them what's what.
Rocks ball.
Rocks ball.
And it's the goal scoring machine. Well, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4. Thomas McCormick. And as we final quarter, Taylor, every kick now carries extra weight.
Sidestepping just to make sure he's in a good line.
Distance should not be the problem. And I tell you, we've had 6 goals, 26 kicked. You can work out accuracy has been.
Trot in and a beautiful goal. Absolutely lobbed in there, and it's just on target.
Well, we were talking during the break about the fact we've got a Gully's, the Gully Hotel $50 voucher. We've got the Archies. How about a guy who's kicked 3 goals out of 5?
That's, I mean, honestly, that is the difference today. If we didn't have McCormack on that team, who knows?
And I don't think he's missed any. I think he's pretty much managed to convert. I could stand corrected. I've certainly had a few of those today. But back in the middle, that's a good start. As I just finally found the football, which has gone halfway. What's that part of the road? Halfway to
Timbuktu?
Northfield.
Oh.
I think is what, if you keep going that way, it's where you end up. Oakton, somewhere out there. Yeah, that's a good start. Butterworth with the ruck work and the clearance.
Jumping
able
ready.
to get the mark. He's ready to go. Butterworth, he enjoyed that break. Carlin's had to do a lot of ropes. Pretty sure Jesse White has a hamstring injury. Had some ice in that area. As we got an over the shoulder, it will be a rocks clearance. Wharton onto O'Malley. Lanzoni with the lead and the mark. This could be 2 in 2.5 minutes and in a low-scoring contest. I'm not saying this could be the sealer, but if he kicks this, Rocks would lead by about 3 goals, and the Tigers have kicked 2 all day and haven't kicked one in over a half of footy. The captain selected for big moments from 45 across the face and registers a minor. 5'9", that's 39. Broadview, 218, that's 30.
A mark right at the top of the 50 there by Wilson. Broadview wanting to get it down towards their end, and we're right near the grandstands now where the ball's knocked out. Standing on my tippy toes here to make sure I can see all.
It's just in front of us, and it's sort of, we've got too much junk in front of us to see it.
Up in the air towards the absolute banger Butterworth. That gets sent down towards the 50 by Wharton and chased by Kemp there.
Kemp's the kick around the body. Heads towards that boundary and taken over in front of the Ute. I'm not going to call them the Ute Brigade.
Well, that is a very accurate description of what we can see. It is mates in the back of you.
It might be because there's more people here than there were during the Bees, but they were quite vocal and hearable. Maybe the winds, the winds died down. They had the wind advantage. Carlin tried to do the Ruck Rover combo. Gave away the free kick in the process. So Butterworth needs a runner. That's Dawson. Dawson gets it on. Rock's doing just about all the attacking of consequence in this quarter. And they're laying the tackles when they need to. That one by Wakeland. Ball escapes. Hand pass back. Boxer has missed. I just get the feeling, Taylor, and look, I'm going super early. We're talking 5 minutes into the final quarter. That if Rocks can kick another one, as in a goal, another one, you see enough points. They kick another goal. That might be all she wrote.
And that's exactly what Broadview needs to stop them doing.
It's 40-30. Lanzoni, almost a miracle, but he was swung around as he kicked it. Had gone too far around. Another behind, so the margin 11, which has been as big as it's got all day.
Yeah, 11, 12 I think was the most, so we're sitting around that for sure.
So just
Yeah,
I love community footy.
An absolute sending of a kick towards Truffer. No, sorry, Beard. Jones.
Might have been big.
I saw a 3.
Okay.
Back into the hands of Rocks. Wharton sending it to the 50. They need players there, and there he is, Lanzoni with the pickup, but it's just, they go down like dominoes.
Lanzoni, I reckon, might have just sealed it.
Lanzoni showing the team how it is done. They probably talked a lot about kicking accuracy during those breaks, and I reckon Lanzoni's like, lads, this is how we do it.
Right now, it's 6:11. That is 47. I'm having to do a lot of maths in my head today with these double-digit behinds. Broadview, 218, that's 30. So 17 points. That is a game-high margin. 7 minutes into the final quarter, and that score is thanks to the Kirin Hyoketsu scoreboard. We do have the best on ground, the Archies, and the $50 voucher thanks to the Gully Hotel. We will also have, between us, we'll work out a 3-2-1 in the High Five e-bikes Player of the Year, which will win a $5,000 e-bike. You ever ridden an e-bike?
I have. They're kind of scary. Like, you
I
get
love
on it
them.
and it zips away. Like,
I love them.
it's great.
For a
But if
bit-
you're not prepared for it to be an e-bike and you get on it, you absolutely fly. But, fantastic. I don't have to put in effort when I go up hills anymore.
I was about to say, for a big bloke like me who doesn't like anything into the wind or uphill, it's an absolute godsend.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be enjoyed by whoever in the Adelaide Footy League picks up that prize.
I went and saw the bikes that they're giving away. Fantastic. Foldable, like, can fit onto your sofa. How cool.
Oh,
like,
wow.
That's what I always thought. I was like, bike is always going to take up so much space. But these are foldable e-bikes that are really easy to charge and
Okay.
just collapsible, which is
That'll
really
probably-
cool.
That'll probably make it easy to get into a car as well, I would suspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. Most cars can't fit a bicycle normally, but anyway, back to the game.
Yeah, and look, you can see Will Mead, who went off for a blood rule. He's got, this will be before your time, the Rick McCosker treatment. He was a cricketer in 1977 who got hit by a cricket ball and came back with his head taped up.
Yeah, it's impressive to see that he's not willing to let his team down even after a big knock in the head.
Butterworth a tap to Carlin like they were teammates. It's from Wilson to Jones. Is this the last shout for Broadview? And Yang fighting hard for the footy, but it bounced better for Demetrius, at least initially. A zig, a zag. Every time Broadview look like they're going to get a kick, Demetrius ends up with it. He'll get the clearance. Hearts in mouth for Rocks there for a moment, and let alone the Broadview fans who are struggling to remember. When was the last time we actually kicked the goal? It was to Jesse White late in the first quarter. Since then, by the way, they have kicked at least 12 straight behinds.
It's really interesting because we're seeing quite fire coming out of both sides for this quarter, and we're just along the line here towards, right in front of us. We've got Wilson taking on O'Malley.
And Jackson Wilson is not in a good way. Looks like he's done maybe a quarter.
Loud planes overhead too.
Yeah, Qatar's just arrived from Abu Dhabi.
Just in time for the match.
Probably a lot looking at what's this strange oval shaped thing that these players running around
What
on?
are those ants doing?
That's it.
Sending it along the outside wing. Dawson is looking for a player.
I almost wonder if Rocks will start to play a little bit. The kick turnover, play a little bit of possession footy. They have a good lead and a bit of cramp. And the players are starting to feel it. As mentioned, it's been nothing short of physical. It's been a fair bit of running. A lot of turnovers, which only increases your running.
I feel like we've been watching a tennis match, the way that our heads are going back and forth.
Keep looking for Anyang. He's got Butterworth to deal with and a bouncing football. Went down low to get it, went down too low, and that's a free kick in modern day football to transfer.
Transfer looking for a player just at that right side of the inside rectangle. Words are eluding me. I'm tired. I don't know how
That's
they're
all
doing.
right, I'll help you out. Stepping to limb. Centre square was the last time I checked. Centre square. Boxer.
I was like, it's a
A long way out. Lanzoni, I reckon he might. I mean, you got a decision to make. Lanzoni's got to be considered for the award. You've got McCormick with 3 goals. Might be who can do what in the final. Probably only got about 15 minutes left of this contest.
It's time for Broadview to put their heels in and really just play on the defense and attack where they can.
The game is slipping around. Carlin's done a mighty effort in ruck. No, it's interesting. Where's Butterworth gone? Has he gone off yeah, he's come off for a break. Well, they throw him into the ruck for the final 10 minutes or so. Bit freshened up because Carlin's pretty much gone all day on the field, especially after White did his hammy. So here's a chance. Broadview, edge of the centre square. Wormburner kick. Intercepted by Kemp with the thump towards the tennis club. He goes and does his own laundry, picks it up, spots up a teammate. in that southeastern pocket. Brings it back for Dawson, which is usually where teams have come unstuck today. He marks. Well, he's going to go across the field, which works. That finds Butcher. Now on to transfer. So this is just keeping the ball away from Broadview. If Broadview can't get the ball, they cannot score. If they cannot score, they cannot win. Lanzoni has the strength to get the hand pass away. Transfer. So what do we have there? There's about 11 possessions now where Broadview haven't touched it. Lanzoni goes to a fairly open forward line. That was well done by Boxer to force the contest. Open hand pass where Rocks have the numbers. Can they get the kick away? Yes, they can! Thomas Bradford. He was hurled down onto the turf, but he would have been pretty pleased with the view that he's got his first. And if it wasn't over before, it's over now. Rocks 7-11. They're going to win this one 53. Broadview 2-18-30. 23-point margin on the Kirin Hyokitsu scoreboard.
So we currently have an interesting goal ladder, which will obviously have changed after this match, but Broadview currently sit at 20, beating any other player from Rostrevor. That is their captain, Cooper O'Leary, that sits at 20 for kicking 4 goals this season and receiving best player twice. It's interesting because that's reading that stat and then seeing the goal scoring today. I wouldn't expect to see them in the top 50.
Well, 5 goals, 5 last week. I realise it's my fault. I'll talk about that in a sec because Broadview going forward. They're going to get a goal here. All right, it's the mullet man in Jackson Haynes. It's taken almost a half of football. In fact, it's taken almost 3/4 of football. But Broadview have their third. 3-18. That's going to do my maths in now. That's 36. 7-11. That's 53. What's that? 17 points. So, even now 17 points, 3 goals, 14 gone final quarter. Well, Broadview are not totally out of it, but it's going to be a similar miracle if they get up to what Rocks did against PAC last week.
A flying kick from Wharton there, straight along the wing to Lim. Lim sends it into the 50, looking for a free player. He's run off with the ball. Oh, McCormick there marks it right on the boundary and just runs up the hill. A rolling ball towards Lanzoni. A 2-on-1 there.
Not trying to pressure you either way, but Lanzoni's had the goal assist with the last one, so he's kicked 1 goal with a goal assist. McCormick's had 3. Lanzoni plenty of good work around the ground. I think we're narrowing it down to those 2. Probably being unfair to quite a few others, especially if they're a Rocks defender. But they'll go again. 2-on-1 contest. That'll be thrown through from behind. So 7-12, 54. That is Rocks. I think that's inaccurate. Try Broadview. 3-18, 36. Flat. 3-goal margin.
Kicking out of the 50, Broadview. It's a flying kick, thumped by Waken. Holding the ball, it's called, and the umpire runs in the toss. PJ just throws himself under the ball. It's a bit of a scramble.
Did you see what Carlin was doing with his arms? Didn't like the attention of the swinger. Didn't make contact with anything. Just as well. He kicks it without arms on this occasion. Rocks have found a free man in the middle. That was Mead getting it on to Dawson. Dawson's kick inside 50 in the McCormick direction. Broadview have numbers for the moment. But fair to say it's all been Rostrevor's end of the field. Okay, here's a chance for Matty Beard to get it forward. Tigers ball inside 50. Through the hands of O'Leary. Spills to Demetrius. He's got a teammate depossessed of the ball. To be picked up. And the hand pass out Langley to Kay. And that in the end was too much work for Broadview to get there. Dawson with the... Well, it was an under pressure mark, but he took it very calmly.
He was just standing there. It came into his arms while there were 3 or 4 players running in his direction. Very calm.
Yeah, didn't hear
Very cool.
Didn't hear the footsteps, or if he did, they didn't put him off.
We're just kicking in from the boundary now. Oh, he runs with it. And Rocks sends it into the 50 with a jump that just doesn't make it, but brings 2 or 3 to the ground. And the ball is trapped between a bit of a contest there, and the umpire comes in.
Who the heck flew for that?
That was a...
Might have been Boxer.
Thought he had wings for a second there. Must have had his Red Bull this morning.
Could be. Spills, snap on goal. This to certainly seal it, if it was a goal, which is not. Goal ball brings up the 13th behind for Rostrevor. 31 in totality kicked today, along with 10 goals. 90 seconds, maybe 80 seconds from time on. 19 points. Wayward kick in. O'Leary's got a task up for it, and Yang got some help. A couple of loose Tigers on this side of the field. One of them just loses footing at the wrong moment. That's Rossman.
Mead is not letting that injury get the best of him, eh?
Certainly no shortage of attack on that footy. Lanzoni pumped off by Carlin. Ends up with Bradford.
That would have been a beautiful mark if he'd just got his hands under the ball there. That was Kemp inside 50.
Boxer escapes the pressure. They can get someone loose here, they'll get a shot. They've conceded a fair bit of ground though.
Pulling him down.
And tripped up. Broadview free, they've got to go down the guts. Because as we head into time on, as they head towards us, time is no longer the friend of the Broadview Football Club.
Flanagan there sending it towards towards his teammates. We've got Langley and doing a beautiful pass that just doesn't quite make Ang Yang. Just off the tip of his fingers and back into Rock's hands. Rocks with the kick.
Slowing it down.
Shoot.
Don't blame him. Yep. We're just going to kick it to each other for a while. Swanbury has it half back. And we'll go back again. We can do this for the rest of the game as Singapore Airlines arrive in Adelaide.
The dangerous play with this is if they drop the ball and it gets scooped up by Broadview, they can quickly get it to
But
goal.
it's still at a range where, okay, they pick it up there. There's still a couple of kicks from goal. It's not that they can pick it up and take a shot. And you notice now there's a hand pass. Well, that doesn't count as a mark. Neither does that hand pass. Demetrius, a high kick. We finally have a contest. What did that use up? About 45 seconds. And I think even the lads on the far side have had their day. Taylor's about to head down. Who will win the award? Well, we'll find out very shortly. So if you just joined us recently and are wondering what's been happening, Broadview had the lead early on. 4 points at quarter time, 7 points at the main break, but second half has been all Rostrevor's. Since quarter time, they have kicked. Well, we've only had 6 goals since quarter time. Rostrevor have kicked 5 of them. Broadview again, they're in the T-saucer in the middle. Arms the hand pass. 1-on-1 contest. Anyang needs a bounce, which he gets. As soon as he touches it, instantly tackled. Broadview go back, Rocks are waiting. Should get a clearance through Sheet. Broadview get to go again. And we got a grab. Yeah. I don't think this is going to have much impact on the game, but then again, 17 points. Let's kick this, it's 11. Caleb Jones, no pressure. We're at the 23-minute mark. And that barely scraped in for a behind. So as soon as you think there might be the slightest glimmer, how much time is left? Could we pull off the miracle? The kick, yeah, shanked it. With that, three goals, 19 to 7, 13. 55 to 37. That is a straight 18-point margin. It was 19 before. I do apologise. It's a straight 3 goals to draw, 3 and a bit to win. And we are well into time on now. Been the highest scoring quarter, well, equal highest scoring quarter with the first, with 4 goals kicked, 3 to Rocks, 1 to Broadview, and a goal here would make it the highest scoring quarter, but a little late, you would think. This is Ben Manning. Manning, one of the best players last week from, was a Broadview junior, spent 1 year at Rupina. Straight in front from 45. Well, yeah, I was about to say, you never want to see a team kick 20 behinds, but that's what Broadview have managed today. 23 scoring shots will win you a reasonable amount of football, and it's 3 more scoring shots than what Rocks have had. And when you kick 20, you know there's always going to be at least a handful that you regret later. Tapped out of bounds. Siren reasonably imminent. With the win, Rostrevor will go to 3-1. They'll go into the 5. And they have a rematch against the team they defeated for the Div 2 Premiership last year, Salisbury North. They'll be coming to the Chateau next week. Broadview, they head up Northeast Road and keep on going. They've got a date with the Kookaburras of Golden Grove at Harper's Field. Do have some scores elsewhere. None of them say final, but some of them are, if you know what I mean. In fact, I've got 4 that will tell you who's won. Just want to see if Broadview can get another goal here. There are about 3 players that ended up running underneath that. And in the end, it's landed with a Tiger who caught it at their ankles. It's going to be Kobe Wilson. Do I have to say anything? Can I just replay the last 20 of those shots? 3 goals, 21. Even the scoreboard attendance not moving. Maybe in protest. It is a behind, I'm pretty sure. They should move. I got it at 3 goals, 21. And the end of this game can't come soon enough. Rocks are going to win. And Broadview can go back to the drawing board a little bit. No, they might be down Jesse White, who we haven't seen for the last quarter and a bit. Taylor Oates, we're going to, just checking Darcy, we're going to do the interview live. We're going to do an interview live. There you go. Who is going to win the prize pack? We'll know soon because the game is over. Without too much aplomb, the Rocks fans will take the win. Say thank you very much. Broadview will say, what was that? 3 goals, 20. And when they look back at this game and they'll say, gee, was it played in the slosh pit? Was there a terrifying circular wind? No, it's probably some of the best footy conditions you could hope to play on. And Broadview over was, yeah, look, plenty of interesting bounces from time to time, but not a day you're going to score 3 goals, 20. Rocks. Yeah, they've got to put the scores back up, I hope. Are they taking them down? 7-13. Okay, they got 55-39. Yeah, they did miss. For some reason, they just refused to move on the last behind. Taylor's heading out. We're just doing a score check. They're going to have to go over and put that last behind on surely, or they're just going to... Maybe the last behind didn't count because we're not adjusting the scoreboard. 3 goals, 20 to 7-13. A little bit irrelevant in the end. Let me tell you what's happened around the rest of the league. We have, if not finals, at least you know who's going to win in a few other games. We've got Port District winners 31-point lead over Golden Grove, so Ditters will go to 3-1. They lead Golden Grove 80-49. Spock lead Glenunga by 5 goals, 90-60. And Salisbury North have had quite the win over, well, they're going to have quite the win over Prince Alfred, currently leading by 68 points. So here, of the 4, this was actually the close one, believe it or not, a 16-point win. And the final score does actually reflect the 21, so at least the final score on Play HQ, that's what I'm going to go with. So now that as we just have some applause for the Broadview inclusive team coming out. They're going to play Teacher Gully here shortly. Rather, there's football for everyone. Alrighty, Taylor's found her prize winner. Let's go live to Taylor.
Hello and welcome to Filming Footy. We're here with Stefan Lanzoni, the best on ground for today, with an absolute smashing performance out there, taking out the win over Broadview. Can you tell me a little bit, as your role-on captain, what does that look like on field? How are you showing your best example out there?
It's not too hard. We've got something like a really good experienced group. We played a lot of footy together last year, and it's the same group of boys from a premiership win last year. So everyone knows the system that we're trying to play. So you don't really have to, harp on what we want to do. It's just getting the boys going every week. We've had a really, really good start to the year. That one's really, really important. Bit of an ugly win, but good little fight out. So it's just keeping the boys engaged throughout the whole 4 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it was a bit of a tough win.
Yeah.
So what are the takeaways? What have you learnt from that match, and what will you take into the rest of the season?
We had a really tough hit out with PAC last week. So I guess like recovering and resetting after a win like that. Boys are really sore. We sort of come out a bit complacent. So it's really, really important to hit the footy hard with the first quarter and then roll on from there. So playing 4 quarters of footy is something that we really need to focus on doing, especially in a good comp like this in Div 1. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I guess the last thing is you yourself got a few goals in, and that was really exciting to see. What is that like when you get a goal and you turn around to your team and hands are up, everybody's celebrating? What's that moment like for you?
I'm a bit of a sneak, so I need to stop doing that. Being the captain, I've got to be a bit more selfless. So, it's great. We've got a really good connected group, and to be around all the boys every step of the way, it's awesome. So we have a lot of fun together, which is good as well.
Fantastic. Well, you've earned $50 at the Gully Hotel, so go treat yourself and someone nice.
Yeah.
And I'll grab you a pair of Archies as well, our sponsor. Thank you to Archies, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Alrighty, well done, Taylor, and well done to Stefan Lanzoni and the Rocks team. The further the game went, the better Rocks looked. They held Broadview goalless in the second and third quarter and finally got some goals on the board themselves in that final period. So again, no finals on our look around the Adelaide Footy League, I don't think. No, but it's going to be Winster Port District over Golden Grove, St Peter's over Glenunga, Rocks here over Broadview, and Salisbury North over Prince Alfred. What we don't have is Sacred Heart over Payneham. But I can tell you that Port District, Spock, Salisbury North and Rostrevor are all 3-1. Sacred Heart already have 3 wins. Prince Alfred with their loss dropped to 2-2. Golden Grove and Glenunga are 1-3 and Broadview are 0-4. So if there's any consolation for Broadview, it's that the teams above them in Golden Grove and Glenunga got beaten today. So and beaten by a bigger margin than what Broadview got beat by, albeit Broadview do have the lowest percentage in the competition. The games next week, they're all available on Filming Footy. Glenunga host Sacred Heart. This is always a battle. Prince Alfred and St Peter's. And for the first time in a reasonable while, St Peter's actually higher on the ladder going into this one. Rocks against Salisbury North. They'll reacquaint themselves after the Div 2 Grand Final. Golden Grove and Broadview, Payneham, Norwood Union and Port Districts is Taylor Oates. You do a mountain of work. How are those stairs today?
Oh, you know what? I'm getting in my cardio. My calves are going to be looking great by the end of this. But no, it was fabulous. I just spoke to Stefan Lanzoni, captain of Rostrevor. He was a happy chap after a bit of a fight for that win. But they are really determined to prove their worth this season.
Yeah, and you've left him with something to work on, that he has to be more selfless.
Yeah, he said that, not me. He said that, not me. But it's really self-aware, I think, for a captain to be like, no, the ball isn't always mine. But I think he stepped up in a way that the team needed today. So, maybe that's not so bad that he got some goals.
Alrighty. Time for us to wrap it up. Our sponsors to thank: Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, Custom by ORTC, High Five e-bikes. Better sort out our 3-2-1 before we go too much further. Dartfish, Archie's, Jag Meatworks, Culinary Resorts, and the scoreboard all day, point by point. You brought it up. Kieran Yoketsu, Hiyoketsu, scoreboard. Hello. Yes. This is Phil Hood and Taylor. Any final words?
Just a great game of football.
You're being kind.
I am. No, because
it's a great day for football.
A great day for football. But even despite not seeing many goals, there was true fire out there, which I really did enjoy to see. And I was fully entertained the entire time. So I say that's a great game of football.
I guess you could say Broadview with the slow start, absolutely desperate, maybe brought Rocks down to their own level, but really struggled to find a way home between the big white ones today. Yeah,
quarter one, it just felt different to the rest of the game. I don't know about you, but I feel like we were in store for a totally different game, and then it changed like the wind. And so I think there's a lot for both teams to walk away and reflect on, but I don't think it was a bad game of football at all.
Alrighty, thanks for that, Taylor, and all your efforts today, up and down. Fantastic. Thanks all to Darcy giving you all the camera work, all the Filming Footy family. For the herd, and letting you know that in the C's it was Rocks by 111 points. In the B's it was Broadview by 16, and in the A's it was Rocks by the same margin, 16 points. Don't forget the weekend wraps tomorrow between the post during the week. You'll hear our wrap of this game also on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. But until round 5 next week, this has been the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.